We should be live, guys. I'm gonna give you the topic, all right? And this is probably the talk of the town right now. We're going to talk about China's ban on ICOs and how that's going to affect ICOs in general. So let's begin. I'll just change this here. So welcome, guys. I should be live on Facebook, live on YouTube. It's all happening. It's live there. Yeah, we got some people watching on YouTube. Hi everyone. How's everyone going today? It's Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, guys. 2 days to go. Hey Janet. Awesome. Welcome. Let's see who we got on Facebook. We've got anyone on Facebook? Say hi. If you're on Facebook, say hello, or give me a thumbs up, or share, or do something, or just give yourself a little pat on the back. Today's Tuesday, and I try to make these live streams as formative as possible. So the latest news right now, as you probably heard, China's ban on ICOs, by the People's Bank of China. All right, so this is the official notice they put out, and what they're saying is ICOs are illegal. They're an illegal way of raising money, and so forth, and they're going to basically crack down and audit up to 60 exchanges, I believe. Hang on a second. Two of the major ICO sites are going to be working with them to go through all the ICOs. So I think that this particular obviously it sent shockwaves throughout the community, right? And as you can see now, it's affected NEO's price, and it's affected Ethereum's price. As you can see there, Ethereum has dropped a bit, and NEO's price has dropped. I think the most affected, in the sense of the grand scheme of things, will be NEO, because it's still only just in its, it's not Ethereum's more established, right? There's already multiple, I don't know how many ICOs, dApps are running on it. Like, it's got multiple user case already on Ethereum, so it has affected its price, but it's going to affect NEO more, because NEO's just starting, and it's trying to get ICOs to use the NEO platform. So this has dropped nearly $30, $25 in the last week. So this has been a huge drop for NEO. So basically how NEO works is, for it to gain value and for it to go up in price, it needs to have ICOs that launch and use the NEO platform, or what they call dApps. And for this to happen, it's not going to happen in China. Well, it's temporarily stopped in China. If they can regulate it, then they will obviously allow ICOs, right? So this is basically what it comes down to. It comes down to regulation and being able to tax cryptocurrencies, and the US government hasn't been able to do it, or neither has I think China is going the same way, because they can't control it. And really, that's really what this is all about. It's about controlling, and it's about getting taxes. So that's really what this is about. And I got an email from Dollar Vigilante, and he said it perfectly. Commies crash crypto. What the governments do enslave people. What the central banks do is impoverish people. And what do government regulations do? Destroy capital. My cat just stepped on the mouse. What do government regulations do? They destroy capital, impoverish people, and protect monopolies of the 1%. That is absolutely perfect what the dollar vigilante. I highly encourage you follow his YouTube, all right? He's really on the top of his game, and he's really knows what he's talking about. So that's exactly what they're doing. And today we're seeing how government regulations, which is just another word for threats of violence and extortion, can impoverish people and destroy capital, like protecting the financial banking monopoly. And this is exactly what is happening in China this week, where the People's Bank of China, the Chinese central bank, have officially declared ICOs to be a legal method of raising money. Not only are ICOs and token sales now illegal, but the central bank is also demand that any business, fund, or organization that is already benefited or in currently the beneficiary of such fundraising begin making arrangements to return the funds to respective beneficiaries. So you're gonna, this is not good. A committee led by China's central bank, the ones who ordered the ban, made a statement, and the ICO and ICO sales have seriously disrupt. This cat is being seriously disrupted the economy and financial order. That's exactly what it's going to do. That's exactly what it's happening. It's disrupting everything, and they don't like it. But the Chinese government's violent acts have caused a bloodshed in the cryptocurrencies. So this is just all about the money, controlling the money, and basically keeping the people impoverished. This is on the money, right? And it's the same old story, right? So this is what this is really about, and I don't. This is a temporary setback for China, at least, which is a bit of a shame. It's not going to affect us in, that are outside China. Hey Gaspar, hey Nissa, how you guys going? Morning. Hey Oliver. Yeah, guys, don't let this deter you or anything. I mean, if you're in China, then you're pretty much screwed. But if you're there's ways of getting around it. If you're in other countries outside China, then this doesn't affect you in the sense that it's not going to. Hi, Linda. It's not going to affect your participation. If you're a Chinese national, then I highly recommend that you don't participate in ICOs, because you're pretty much going against the law, and there could be serious consequences, because you know what the Chinese are like. They just shoot and ask questions later. Yeah. Should we be investing in ICOs now? Well, Juan, all my ICOs that I've invested, all of them have been non-Chinese, so it's not going to affect. Look, there are some really good ICOs that are coming up, and which is a pain in the butt, but I'm going to have to miss that. I'm going to have to give them a miss. They're huge. These are huge, big deals, and it's going to affect NEO as well, because Red Pulse was one that was very close collaboration with NEO. And Red Pulse is still going to be. It's still going to be. What they're doing is they're stopping Chinese nationals from participating in it, but they're still in China, right? So I'll be giving Red Pulse a miss, which is this is a big hit. I mean, they're based in Hong Kong. It says here, we are aware of the recent China's PBOC banning on all ICOs. We are a Hong Kong-based entity, and we have already taken this step disallowing mainland Chinese, US, and Singaporean citizens from participating in our PBXL, RPXL. So you're gonna have to do KYC and produce ID. That being said, we are taking seriously this official announcement. Currently discussing our contracts with partners to determine other actions needed. So I don't know. I don't really want to pass up on this ICO because this is a big deal. And it's a big deal for Neo as well. It's going to hurt Neo, right? If Red Pulse went ahead with no hindrance, Neo's price was going to shoot, and this is what I was hoping. But you know, I knew that this was going to happen, and I sold my Neo, guys. I sold my Neo. It was very, very hard for me to sell my Neo because I didn't want to do it, but I sold it at about $35. If I would have held on to it, I'd be a lot less richer. So I still think Neo is awesome. But the things with ICOs are going to be straightened out. If China come back and say, okay, we are going to allow ICOs, but you're going to have to go through our system, and you're going to be regulated, and you're going to be taxed. It's better than not having any ICOs, right, in China. And then you're going to see these ICOs launch, and then you're going to see the price of Neos go back up again, all right? But currently, right now, because of this announcement by the Central Bank of China, they call themselves the People's Bank of China. Oh yeah, they're the People's Bank, all right. They're there to enslave, impoverish the people. That's exactly what governments do, guys. That's why you pay your taxes when you get your day job money, and you pay your taxes, right? So then they can send the money around and pay the things that they need to pay. I mean, isn't that a pyramid scheme? You know, paying off Peter, getting money from Peter to pay Paul, or getting money from Tracy to pay Larry. Isn't that a pyramid scheme? I don't know. To me, it sounds like a pyramid scheme. So we're, you know, in my opinion, we're living in the biggest pyramid scheme of all, and it's the government. And this is another way of controlling us, and this is just another way of see, when there's disruption in the economy, they don't like it because it's going to cost them money, or they can't get their piece of the pie. And we saw it with many things. But you know what? This is the beauty of where society is headed and where technology is headed. It's spearheaded with technology, and there's going to be more disruptions. We saw it with, you know, Uber. We saw it with hotel Airbnb. These are all disruptive technologies and that created industries. So the biggest taxi company in the world is Uber. Doesn't own a single taxi. The biggest hotel chain in the world is Airbnb. Doesn't own a single hotel. So technology are going to continue to disrupt mainstream society and how governments have to deal with it. And I think with ICOs, it's gonna obviously put everyone on guard about ICOs, but it's not gonna stop ICOs. I mean, ICOs is like, okay, a legit company that goes through all the, you know, registers as a legit company, goes through all the financial and legislative procedures to make sure that the token sale is legit and it's not a security, and then going through the process of raising the money through tokens. Well, how is that legal, right? It's illegal because the only reason why it's illegal is because they say that it's illegal. That's the only reason. The only reason why they say it's illegal is because they say it's illegal because they can't get their taxes. All right, then put some sort of measure in that, then that can all be accounted for, and the taxes can be paid. But you're not going to be able to stop it either way. Governments aren't going to be able to stop this either way. Whether they try to ban it, right? That's like saying you're going to ban Bitcoin. You're going to try to ban cryptocurrencies. Can't be done. So they either can ban it, which China are doing now, but it's still going to go ahead. These companies are just going to move offshore. It's going to hurt if anything, it's going to hurt the Chinese economy, because there's a lot of smart people in China that are moving forward with blockchain technology, and now this restriction is going to just force them offshore. They're going to go to Singapore, they're going to go to Taiwan, they're going to go to Japan, they're going to go to other countries which are more friendly to ICOs and cryptocurrencies. That's what's going to happen. So it's a blow for, if anything, for China, but for cryptocurrencies, it's just like a little road bump. It's still going to go forward. It's not going to stop one thing. This is like saying we've got a horse and cart now, right? And we're not going to progress to a car. This is what, in my opinion, what's going to, it's like trying to stop evolution. You can't stop evolution. It's going to happen either way. So these government regulations they impose and all this sort of stuff, it's just there to stall so then they can figure out a way of taxing it, and that's all it is. It's all got to do with the money at the end of the day, and the government want to get their piece. Now there is a benefit to the side of regulation, so it'll stop scammers, which I agree on. We've already seen a few scamming ICOs. One was a really obvious scam, which I did a video on. I can't remember the name. It started with Monkey. It was Monkey something, right? And I don't even know if the ICO went ahead. Fake profiles on LinkedIn, and then when they were created in Uganda. All right. So these scammers were operating out of Uganda, trying to launch an ICO. It was called Monkey Capital. That's what it was called. Obvious scam. I mean, the dumbasses. I mean, Anyway, so this is what it needs to be. If it goes ahead in America or it goes ahead in China, they will try to regulate it. So what does this mean for ICOs? People that are doing ICOs right now. Doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, I've invested in, I think, 10 ICOs, and none of them been in China. All it'll mean is just you can't. I mean, you can take the risk, but I'm not taking the risk. Okay. So yeah, that's basically it. It's just all about control, and it's all about money. All right. And right now, if you're going to invest in Chinese ICOs, I highly recommend you don't. Not until all this clears up, until the Chinese government or SEC in America says, okay, we're gonna allow ICOs, but you're gonna have to play our game, and you're gonna follow our rules, and you need to be approved, and all this sort of bullshit. All right, this is just all the same bullshit that they pulled over with IPOs. You have to fill out this 600-page memo of rubbish, and then you have to pay $250,000 for it to get approved on the stock exchange, and then you got to get it listed, and then all this sort of stuff. It's the same tune. It's the same tune they're playing, right? This is what governments do. They try to regulate stuff. They hold the people back, right, from prospering, and then they call it in the name of protecting the people. It's all the same shit, guys. All right, and governments are the everyday equivalent of modern slavery. That's what they do. They enslave us. And when we get our paycheck, you have to pay so much taxes. Okay, that's mandatory. They automatically take it out of your wage. You have no say. So then they can pay for the awesome street lighting when you go out and you have a nice meal and you're sitting in a nice restaurant overlooking the water and the beach, and 300 meters away there's this light pole, and it's offering free street lighting. The shit ain't free. You're paying for it, and it comes out of your taxes. So that's what they're doing. They're just taking the money from the people to spend it, and then they bail out banks, which are the biggest scammers of all. They don't throw them in jail. They bail them out with the taxpayers' money, and we pay for it. So I wouldn't really worry about. I mean, it's definitely something to consider. And the way that I am dealing with Chinese ICOs is I'm waiting. I'm not going to invest in Red Pulse. Red Pulse is one of my one of my biggest investments. So I'm not going to take the risk. I'm not going to take any risks with any Chinese ICOs or anything that is in China, mainland China, even Hong Kong. And I'm not going to get involved in anything with that are deemed as securities. Or anything that I'm investing in is going to be above board. It's going to be very low risk, but also I'm looking for a good return. So this is what I'm doing with Chinese ICOs. I'm passing on. It's very unfortunate because there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of opportunity there with Chinese ICOs, but I'm not going to touch them at the moment. But I will continue to do my ICO investing, and there's plenty of other ones there. Okay, I've had to cross off. Okay, I've had to cross off three ICOs in China. I'm gonna have to cross off my list, but I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 more ICOs for September. If I had those other 3, I would have had 9. So no biggie. It's just about you don't need to risk this stuff, guys. Just there's plenty of. What I'm seeing is a lot of see what's happening in the ICO space is because ICOs allow basically allow for the newbie investor to come in. So you don't need tens and thousands of dollars now to get involved in startups. You can get involved with $10, and you don't need it's not regulated, and you don't even need KYC, know your customer. You don't even have to show ID, and all you need is Bitcoin or Ethereum. You can get that without ID. So the barrier of entry is so low, and this is what's happening. A lot of newbie investors are coming in and throwing money at ICOs willy-nilly. They have no clue. So now that the threshold of the investors, the type of the investor, okay, before we were seeing a sophisticated investor with 10K to 100K. Actually, it was more like 50 to 100K. Now we're seeing the barrier of entry much lower, and newbie investors with $100 to their name are now getting involved in this stuff, and they have no investing experience. They have no clue on how to buy ICOs, or what's involved, or the risk assessment, or why they should buy it, or they have no clue, and they're throwing money at this, and they're pissing money against the wall. And that's exactly what's happening with ICOs. And then now that's also bringing scammers into it, because they understand there's a lot of newbie investors coming into ICOs that have no clue. They're taking advantage of those people, and then scams are evolving. And then this is giving governments like SEC, which is the biggest scam, and the Chinese government, right? They're giving substance to their decisions. They're like, oh, we're going to regulate this because it's scams. There's scams happening. So they use this excuse. They use the excuse that Bitcoin is illegal because drug dealers can use it for transactions to pay for drugs cross-border, right? What a load of bullshit. What a load of crap. I mean, fiat right now, I mean, is there a big drug problem now with fiat and drug dealers, sending drugs across the border and then getting fiat for it? Of course there's a problem right now. So how is Bitcoin going to be any different? It's not going to be any different, right? The problem is still going to be there, but they're using that as a problem of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin to be advocating that type of illegal activity, right? This is all the stuff that they make up and crap they make up, so then they can then have an excuse to regulate it. So then they can get their get their hands on these profits. So what would you do? What do you do now? Well, you just focus on the ICOs that are not in China. All right, that's what you do. Right, that's all this does until this blows over, and then it figures out what is happening with ICOs, what's China's stance on it, whether they regulate it or not. That's the decision that I'm doing. All right, so I'm not going to invest in all the other stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of look. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy in this space, because a lot of people that are in the make money online space are getting into ICOs, but they're bringing in the same mindset, FOMO, oh, get in early, I'm going to lose out, throw money willy-nilly at something. This is the same mindset, right, of the people coming in from the make money online space. They join every single program, right? They don't even know who the owners are. And you ask them, like, why did you join it? You know, this is all the stuff that I've been through before in the past. I've learned my lessons from the past, and I'm not going to be doing stuff like this anymore. You're just pissing money in the wind. That's basically what you're doing. So a lot of newbie investors are coming into ICOs because they can. They only need an Ethereum wallet, and they don't even need KYC. And they're just throwing money at these ICOs because the website looks good. No assessment, no evaluation, nothing. Just purely throwing money at stuff against the wall, and then hopefully it'll stick, right? And that theory does work, but you know, they're not learning anything. Like, you have to learn, you have to assess these properly, or else you're going to keep on losing money like you are in online programs. When they stop paying you, you move on to the next one, right? Hey Zar, Steve, how you going, Scott? Hey Simona. Where are the most of the ICOs coming from? Oh man, that's a hard question. I would say from a big selection are coming from Europe, Spain, Singapore. Yeah, that's, you know, Estonia. So yeah, it's a big hit that SEC. Actually, there was this ICO here was. There was an ICO that was recently shut down by SEC. It was called, I think it was called ProStar. Yeah, this one here. This is the one that was shut down. This one here was recently shut down by SEC. There was 45,000 raised, and they had to refund their investors. ProStaff, sorry. This one here. So this one was oh, is this it? No, that's not it. It was a US based ICO. Team was from Colorado. They got shut down. So this is it's all good. We just don't invest in Chinese ICOs. It's too risky. We don't take risks, or we take calculated decisions based on, you know, the assessment that we do, and we just, I mean, this is still startups, right? And we just buy the best ones, right? We avoid securities, and we avoid anything from China. Okay, well, this is what I'm doing anyway. This is what I'm telling you guys to do inside ICO Gold Rush. We don't need to take risks. There's plenty of ICOs. A lot of people have been messaging me in the last 24 hours about this band. And guys, don't get FOMO, guys. Don't get FOMO. All right, there's plenty of meat on the bone. There's 1.3 billion in ICOs recently raised, right? You only need to get your little 100 grand, 200 grand, and you're going to be all sweet, right? There's plenty of meat on the bone, right? So what I'm saying is a lot of the same mindset as exactly what I said before. Same mindset of people that are in the make money online space, they get FOMO, fear of missing out. So these are the ICO, recent ICO stats of ICOs from when they were launched to what they are now. You know what I mean? So typically for most ICOs, they have been, like the top ICOs have been very, very profitable. All right, very, very profitable. As you can see here, look, as the date and the return on investment, daily, weekly, monthly. I think we can change this to yearly. Yeah. So as you can see, the percentages here as we roll down are insane. 9,000%, 5,000%, 4,000, 2,000. So as you can see, with ICOs, it is extremely, extremely profitable exercise because you're buying right at the beginning when it's cents on a dollar, all right, as opposed to waiting until it goes on the exchanges and then paying retail price. So once it hits the exchanges, right, it's just like, think of ICOs as, right, when you buy a loaf of bread, right, you're buying, who makes the most profit when they sell that loaf of bread? It's the person that created it, right? They make the most profit because they probably spent, you know, 5 cents to make the dough. They cook the bread and then they sold the bread for $2, right? This is an example of ICOs, is what I'm telling you guys about ICOs and trading. So they spent $5, they spent 5 cents, made $2 on a loaf of bread. So it's the same with ICOs. When you buy an ICO, you're buying it, the creator will obviously make the most. The creator of the ICO will make the most. But then the next person on the line of that ICO will be the pre-sale people, right? So the ICO creator will make the loaf of bread for 5 cents. And then the next person, the next group along the line that'll get their piece of that loaf of bread will be at 10 cents. And that's the pre-sale, okay? And then the next chunk of people that'll get their piece of that loaf of bread at the cheapest price will be the ICO participants, which will be probably 20 cents. Okay, I'm just using this as an example. Will be 20 cents, right? So then, once the ICO finishes, but this piece of bread is not baked yet. Okay, so what you're doing is you're buying into this piece of bread that, or a piece of bread that's going to be cooked, but it's not cooked yet. So the cheaper that you buy it down before it's cooked or before it's manufactured, you're taking the biggest risk that hopefully this piece of bread, this piece of dough is gonna hopefully be baked one day, and then it can be sold for $2, right? So then once you got your pre-sale people, you got your ICO people, which buy it a little bit more expensive, and then you got once the ICO finishes and it goes to exchanges, it could jump from say 20 cents to $1. Okay, so typically within a first couple of from the ICOs that I've seen, typically in the first day, if it's a good ICO, it'll at least double or triple its value, right? If it's a good ICO, it'll at least double, minimum double. All the ICOs that I've ever done have always doubled their value on the first day, all the ICOs I've done has always double their values on the first day. I'm going to repeat it again. All the ICOs I've done have doubled their value at least on the first day, and even the shit ones did. Okay, so that means that even if it's a shit ICO, but I mean, we're only going after the best ones. At the very minimum, you're going to double your money. And then what happens is it's going to spike, and then it's going to drop again. All right. So there's a big rush of FOMO, people selling it, slutting off the token. They're taking the small profits. People are cashing in, and you can still buy these tokens after the ICO stage. You can buy them as soon as they hit the exchanges, and sometimes you can get those tokens a little bit more expensive, but still very cheap. But you don't buy them within the first 4 hours or 8 hours of the token hitting. You should wait, because it always spikes. So this is a tip for you people that have missed the ICO. You buy it when it spikes and it'll drop back down. That's when you buy it. And typically, you know, you might spend, it might cost you 50% or double what it was at the ICO stage, but you're still getting it cheap, you know what I mean? So then what it does is it typically doubles or 3x's when it hits the exchange, and then that's when you sell it. Or if it's a good project, you can hold on to it. So based on what I know and the information that I've done from the ICOs, why would I trade it? If it's a long-term project, it's the only reason why I would hold and trade on it. But why would I trade a coin? I mean, that makes no sense. To me, it makes no sense. I can get it at the cheapest price, and that's at the ICO stage. Right? But here's also another thing too you have to consider. When you buy it cheap, right? If you, like, I bought Omi's Go at, or Amisa Go at $1.70, and I spent half a Bitcoin. So every time that the price of that particular crypto coin went up, every time it goes up $1.70, I make half a Bitcoin. See, so when you're buying something at the very, very low price of, let's just say 20 cents, and every time it doubles in value, you double your investment. So just say you spent 1 Bitcoin on an ICO and it was 20 cents, you bought it for 20 cents, and as soon as it hit the exchanges, it went to 60 cents. But then over the next 2 or 3 months, it kept on climbing and it kept on doubling. So the value of what you paid was 20 cents. As soon as it hit the exchanges, it probably went to 40 cents. It generally does. Most good coins will double. And then that's why it's, guys, that's why it's so easy to make money with ICOs right now. That may change in the future. It's the easiest freaking thing I know. You know, if it's a good ICO, at least at the very minimum, it'll double its money, right? And that's good enough for me to sell. Okay. So if you buy it at 20 cents and you bought it for 1 Bitcoin, goes to 40 cents, you double your Bitcoin. Goes to 60 cents, you double it again, and so forth. If it goes to $10, you do the maths on it, you make a lot of money. But the lower that you buy it, every time it goes up in value, like in Amisa Go, I bought it for $1.70, but every time it goes up $1.70, I make half a Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So the lower that you buy it, the more money you're going to make. As it grows in value, you're just going to make a seriously more money. That's why you buy the loaf of bread when it's still dough, provided that it's a good project. And this is what I teach you in ICO Gold Rush. The profits are insane. And if you just go to ICO stats, click on return on investment, look at IOTA. It's if you bought it at the ICO stage, you would have 11,818% your investment. Ethereum, 88,000. Oh shit, no, that was 118,000. If you bought Ethereum for 30 cents, you would, at the ICO stage, you would have 88,801% your investment. Okay, and I could just keep on going on and scrolling down this list. Even 1,000% is still good, right? So this is why ICOs are a big deal, and that's why they've got a lot of positive and negative press, and that's why celebrities are getting into it, and that's why this is happening now with China. Okay, so where there's opportunity, whether there's misfortune, there's opportunity, and that's the way I see it with China. All you people in China, unfortunately, if you're a Chinese national, you won't be able to participate in ICOs. But then that, for the rest of the world, you know, that means we can still get into ICOs and they won't sell out in 53 seconds, like a recent ICO did. Tron Lab, millions of dollars were raised. It sold out in 53 seconds. It was a Chinese ICO. So we'll, you know, it'll just mean that it'll just take a little bit longer. We can get in, get our piece of the action. And I hope that China can sort it out. For NEO, it'll mean a big deal for NEO as well, right? So that's it, guys. Yeah, I'm getting that a lot, Oliver. I'm getting that a lot. And it's the same question as FOMO. It's the same thing as FOMO, mate. D3s. Okay. I'm getting a lot of questions about D3s. If you bought a D3 or you purchased D3s, currently the difficulty goes up and the difficulty goes down. Yeah, it goes up and down on a daily basis, right? And this is the problem that I'm seeing people look. They're looking at a daily They're looking at a daily basis, just like this, all right? Just like NEO, just like Ethereum. They're looking at it at a daily basis and they're making an inaccurate, false decision or assumption on what is happening, right? So this is what I'm telling you, people that are looking at D3s as, is it still feasible? Of course, that is the most stupidest freaking question I get. No offense to the people asking, right? But it's just, I'm just saying that in general. In general, that is a stupid question. That is a stupid question because you haven't run the numbers, right? Run the numbers, all right? So, 15 gigahash on a D3, it's going to be 1200. Let's just say that's 10, all right? A D3 currently now, well, they were selling D3s around 1,500 bucks, PCU $100, and then you've got your shipping $200, so 1,800 bucks. Where in the freaking world? Where in the world are you going to find something that's going to give you ROI in less than 2 weeks? It's actually less than 2 weeks. It's probably about 11 days. That is how ridiculous that question is to me, in my opinion. Right? You're getting something that is going to give you a ROI. You're going to get your seed money on the investment back in 11 freaking days. Okay? If I was there and you were telling me that question in person, I'll bitch slap you. Because it makes no sense. The question, it makes no sense. Put your money in the bank and you get 5% per year. As opposed to getting a D3, you're going to get the full investment back in 11 freaking days. Then it's all pure profit for the next, I don't know, what, 23.5 months? All right, you're going to make potentially 9, but then the difficulty is going to go up. Yes, I understand that. But also the value of Dash is going to go up. Dash is going to go up to $1,000. But here's the key. This is the true indicator of Dash, whether it's profitable with your D3s, all right? The return on your investment, all right? So currently with Bitcoin, it's about 8 months. All right, currently with Bitcoin, it's about 8 months. This could be wrong. But with your Dash, it's 11 days. So even Bitcoin is still profitable. I mean, even if you buy an S9, it's still profitable. Even if you have to wait 9 months. See, people don't want to wait. They're impatient. It's still Bitcoin's going to 20 to 30, 40 grand. Okay? So the people that mined Bitcoin when it was like 10 cents, if they didn't turn off their machines, they'd be multi-millionaires. But back then, Bitcoin was 10 cents and it was probably costing them 10 cents to mine it, right? They're probably going, it's not profitable. You know what I mean? But if they kept their machines on and just kept on mining long term, the price of Bitcoin went from, I think it took a massive leap from like 7 cents to $15 within 1 year. Or within like a space of a couple of, you have to look up the history of Bitcoin. If they didn't turn off their machines and just kept on running, and they knew they were running at probably at a loss or break even, for the long-term growth of the actual coin, they're laughing all the way to the bank. Right now, with D3s, is like, you need to be bitch slapped, honestly. Because where are you going to find an investment? Tell me one investment. Okay, maybe the casino. Maybe the casino is going to get more faster a return on investment. But you got a 50-50 chance of losing your money on Sickbo. Okay? On blackjack. Alright? It's high risk. This is low risk. You're going to get your investment back in 11 days. So, I'm not saying this to individuals in particular. I'm not naming an individual. I'm just saying as a general question that people ask me. The question is ludicrous. So 11, of course it's damn profitable, guys. 11 days. Even if this blew out to 3 months, I still buy D3s. I want people to have this type of mindset of, oh, it's not profitable, I won't buy a machine. Good. More money for me. I will just keep on buying machines and buying machines and buying machines until this keeps on blowing out till like 3, maybe if it blows up to 6 or 9 months, then I would maybe reconsider. But now it's 11 days, guys. 11 days and you get your money back. Then it's all pure profit for maybe 2 years. The machine will run for 2 years. Right? You're making $4,000 a month. You're making $49,000 a year. You run 10 D3s. You're making $1,300 a day. $1,300 a day. How is that not $1,300 a day? You're making $9,500 a week. You're making 40 grand a month. Who gives a shit about the difficulties? I don't care. If this drops to 30 grand a month, do you think I'm going to go, I might turn my machines off? Of course I'm not. 30 grand a month is 30 grand a month, right? And if you look at the overall picture, $500,000. I mean, if you're making $500,000 a year and you drop down to 400,000 a year, are you going to be pissed off? No, you're not going to be pissed off. Because what are you going to do with your your 400,000? Well, here's a clue: you buy more machines, right? And this never drops off. So that little rant wasn't aimed at anyone in particular, right? I'm just saying, I get the question all the time, and I'm telling you to look at the figures, right? If you look at dash difficulty versus the price, this is what you got to worry about. This is what you got to worry about. No, this is actual BTC price. It doesn't show it, but let's just say, for example, the red one, just this hypothetically, okay, the red one was the difficulty, and the price of Dash was the blue one, okay? Just using this example, okay? This is not the accurate representation in this, but I'm just using this example. This is good, right? Because the difficulty and the price is congruent, like they're parallel, right? That's good. That's what we want to see. They're basically hugging each other as it goes up. So as long as the price meets the difficulty, then it's all sweet, right? What we don't want to see is a big arc, a big straight up arc, and then the price not meeting it. Then that's when you got to worry about. But right now, the Dash difficulty is like you don't even have to worry about it, guys. Honestly, it's just taking a steady. It's taking a steady. I'll just pull up the graph here of Dash difficulty, and I'll show you what I mean. Just my internet is really slow. Oh wow, it is slow. So yeah, guys, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to get your return on investment in 11 days. How is that not profitable? Okay, I don't know. I'm gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked how you know what I mean. And don't look at your difficulty on a day-to-day basis. This fluctuates. This was $200 a couple of days ago, and then it's dropped to 136. Then in a couple of days, it'll go back to 150. It fluctuates. Look at it monthly, all right? But the true indicator is a return on investment, all right? Once this blows out, once this 11 days goes to like 14 days, or it goes to like, you know, I don't know, 6 months, then you got to worry. But 11 days is, this is insanely profitable, guys. Right now, you shouldn't even be questioning it. It's insanely profitable. I mean, where are you going to find a machine or something that's going to give you your full return back in 11 days? Then it's all pure profit. Name me one thing in the world. I can't think of one thing off the bat right now. I can't think of one thing. Well, I can think of one thing. It's casino, but that's extremely high risk. So yeah, if you got a D3, you're laughing all the way to the bank, because you've only got to turn on your machine and mine it for 11 days. You get your money back, right? You get your initial investment back, and then it's all profit for the next 2 years of running your machine at $136. This will drop off a little bit. It'll keep on dropping off. But you know what? What do you do? What do you do when this drops off? Think, what are you going to do? You're an entrepreneur. What are you going to do when this drops off? It's obvious, right? You buy another machine with your profits, with your house money. You keep on buying more machines, guys. The difficulty won't affect you. So then what do we do? Now we've used our profits that we've earned from our D3. What do? There, all of a sudden now you're $275 a day. Then you just keep on buying machines until you can't buy machines anymore. All right? That's what you do. That's how you offset the difficulty. So with that said, guys, sorry about the little rant. I get it a lot. I just try to answer it as calmly as possible. But it's a freaking gold mine right now with D3s. You know, you shouldn't be thinking like that. It's extremely profitable. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Have a fantastic day.